Right, hopefully I'm live and this is working, so I'm going to be streaming some more of The Last of Us 2 today. Again, some of these bits you'll have seen quite recently, but I'm doing it on that grounded mode. Oh, I didn't put the cheats on, did I? Which will make this almost impossible. So let's see if I start Wiimod, if I can actually put the cheats on partway into a stream and if that works. Also, I don't know if there's not a picture at the moment. Yeah, the display capture's not working, so let me fix that in a second. I'll get the cheat started up anyway first. I might have to quit the game and restart it, I think, anyway, and you normally have to do that when so Last of Us 2, play, loading mods, and then display capture. Let's work out why that's not working. Alright, is that working now? Yeah, I think that's working now. There we go. So yeah, that should all be fine now and working. So yeah, just again, the typical bloody OBS thing where it randomly decides to change a setting even though you've told it not to. Where you can set everything up to work absolutely fine on one day, and then the next day it's like, oh no, I don't want to use those settings anymore. I think I'll just randomly change them. So yeah, hopefully it tells people I'm actually on, because again with YouTube that's really hit and miss whether that works or not. I'll start timing myself on a stream so I know roughly how long I've been on, because that can be quite difficult to do while in games. Alright, Rajiv, you right? I'm enjoying having a Sunday off. I actually had a lay-in this morning, which I never normally get on a Sunday, because obviously I normally sort of have to get up at 6 AM. Although I still woke up at bloody 6 AM anyway, because I think my body clock's so used to it, but at least then I could go to the toilet and then go back to bed, rather than thinking, oh no, I have to now actually, you know, get up, sort of thing. But yeah, so far so good. I've got an Easter egg, but I haven't opened it yet. I'll probably have it later after I've had some proper food. Yeah, I've had loads of coffee today. I don't know why. I've just been really, I think, yeah, just because I'm not used to having a Sunday where I can actually laze about, so my body isn't used to it. There's been a couple of years where I've just bought them for myself, but I did actually get gifted one this year, so, yeah, I will have that. I'm just not going to have it till after I've had some proper food, so it doesn't spoil eating actual, you know, food and nutritional value. Also, Nora being a lying bitch, despite the fact she let Abby out, she's now claiming it's everybody else's fault.
When Isaac talks to us about this,
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
Yep, I have vague memories of shit like that, Rajiv, when I was a kid. You know. Yeah, because I don't have a channel it will actually turn up on, I'll just see it in the morning, because like I said, I have to wait for it to have finished, then somebody to upload it, and then, you know, to download it, so I'll just do it in the morning. Yeah, I'm just going to skip the cinematics, as I said, so we can have as much gameplay as possible, because, like I said, I've streamed nearly this entire game through twice now. Once completely fully through, and recently where I did quite a lot of it on stream, so,
Nora! You can't escape this! Damn it!
That's actually pretty impressive that, you know, it only took that short amount of time. Alright, Rich. I'm just doing more of this today. I'm enjoying having a Sunday off work because of, you know, Easter Sunday where I work we have to close. So, it's one of the few days that, you know, if it lands on the right day for me, I get the day off. Although Easter Sunday, would always be on my Sunday shift saying that.
No, no, no!
Because like I said, it's with some of the days off, like Christmas Day and that, might not land on the day I'm doing a shift anyway. I'll have a look at your comment in a minute, Rajiv. I'll do this bit of a quick time style event first. There we go, knocking her into the basement. Oh, is that Now TV? I've never actually had a Now TV thing.
Get back!
You have nowhere to go.
The fuck's the power doing all? Doesn't matter. Find the trespasser.
Yeah, I like this in the other subway bit where there's clickers and both have red lighting as well, funnily enough. But yeah, where they send people after you, but you can alert the clickers. Are any of them still alive, or have the clickers killed them that quickly? I think there's a light over there, isn't there, like a flashlight?
You're done!
Sadly, like we were saying, it's quite hard to do that now. Is the what do you call it mode, the online factions, whatever it's called, is that only on the original PS3 release still, or can you do it on the like PS4, PS5 remaster, just not on the PC one? Because at some point, if there's still a server up for that on the PlayStation 5 version, I might actually boot that up and give it a try at some point. And I think it's potentially even tomorrow the Oblivion remaster comes out, so I'll be buying that. Because that was, again, like one of those things where out of nowhere they sort of, you know, there was a leak of it and then they actually announced it, like almost like they were going to drop it by complete surprise. Okay. Oh, I mean, it might be the PS4 version that I've got on the PS5, I think. But when I next have the PS5 on, if I've still got Last of Us 1 installed, I'll boot it up and see if I can do it. Because I have a weird feeling that there was like an in-game store for random like cosmetics for it, so that probably does let you have access to it. I'm not sure. Yeah, if I remember, I might check that out a bit later today, because I'll need to see if my PS5 needs any updates and what this month's free games are before the end of the month. Right, yeah, I'll let you know if I remember to do that after this stream. Tell you what I could actually do in a minute when we get into the cutscene, if I don't have to, I think I might have to actually interact in this cutscene to press the button to hit her, but, let me turn my PS5 on using my PS5 controller, because it's plugged in via a wire. So I'll do that at the moment, and I can just switch AV channels on this, and it won't disrupt the stream. And I can check for you, actually, while I'm streaming. If it's installed. If it's not, then I can't check without reinstalling it. Which I can't do while I'm streaming, because it would crash the stream out through my lack of internet, but, it's wasted a bit of the silence in it. Oh, I'm meant to be going down here anyway. Okay, yeah. Right, let me just fish out my PlayStation 5 controller, which probably needs a bit of a dust off anyway. Yeah, it definitely needs a dust off. Right, if I change the AV channel while she's doing this, and then I might have to go back to hit her. Is that HDMI 2 my PlayStation's on? PS5 detected. Yeah, there we go. Right, first let's see what the monthly games are. PlayStation Plus Essentials. No, The Last of Us 1 is on the monthly game thing anyway at the moment. Monthly games, RoboCop Rogue City. Well, I'll definitely add that to my library. That's great having that as a free game, even though I've already, like I said, got on PC. But yeah, Rogue City, that's really good as a free game. Or do I have to press F at the moment? I can't see because I'm not looking at the screen. But... Or do I have to approach her? Oh, I could approach her in very slow action, watching via the screen. There we go. I'm not even watching in real time, because I'm looking at the PS5 screen. Right, Rogue City. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a Dead by Daylight type thing, isn't it? Let's add that to library as well. Some other thing. Digimon Story. Probably not any interest in that, but we'll add to library. Digimon World was good on the PS1 though, saying that. Or do I have to press F again?
Firefly.
Yeah, she's talking. Right, play The Last of Us. Oh, no, I have to upgrade to the exclusive thing to do that. But I do have it in my library anyway, so let's have a look. Game library, The Last of Us.
I'm fucking dead anyway, why would I tell you?
Where's it in my library? I definitely own it, because I played it not too long ago. Oh, your collection. It's going to be in collection, isn't it? Not installed. The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered. Yeah, I'm going to have to download that, Rajiv, so I can't do it now while I'm,
What he did. How many people are dead?
Oh, it only took me 11 hours to do some of that and replay through, so yeah, The Last of Us 1 is nowhere near as long as this one. So yeah, later on I will have a look, if I remember, to re-download The Last of Us 1, and, oh, it started downloading Rogue City. I need to stop it doing that before it fucks my connection up. Right, let's just turn off my PS5 for now. However I do that. I have to just back out to the very main screen and then I can, yeah. Enter rest mode. There we go. And then I need to press F to smack that bitch, don't I, while I'm, right, so let's switch back to this, anyway. Yeah, boom. But yeah, later on it might take me more than a day to download it, my slow internet, depending how big it is, Rajiv. Although saying that, normally games on consoles are a lot smaller than PC because the texture size and all that's lower res, so you don't have, you know, hundreds of gigabytes. You know, like, well, most big PC games now are just over 100 gigabytes. So it's probably a case that a game that's 100 gig on PC is probably like 50 gig on console if the texture's like half the size or whatever. Yeah, again, the tariffs are stupid though, aren't they? Can't I skip this cutscene yet? Oh yeah, it's because I have to play a little bit as Ellie, don't I, in this bit before then Joel turns up and I can skip it as a cutscene. Right, I'm not going to bother searching for all the notes in here and everything. I'm just going to sprint to the operating room because, like I said, I want to play more of the gameplay in this particular stream rather than all of the kind of cinematic stuff. Good morning, not a Russian spy. Yeah, good morning. But, is this a cutscene now? Yeah, it is, right, skip cinematic. But yeah, like I said, it's just nice today, having a Sunday where I can actually do stuff for my own time rather than being at work. So, thank you, Jesus, for Easter Sunday. This is the particular skin that I can't stream with YouTube that, yeah, mods re-enable. Because, yeah, it turns out they had fully modelled her nipples and everything, it's just that you don't see them in-game. So, yeah, this beaten up, topless Ellie skin is one of the ones, like I said, one of the ones you can actually use. What type of body armour did you get? With this skin, is she actually wearing boots, not trainers? Yeah, she is, so she's actually got practical footwear on, rather than like the Converse sneaker type thing. She's...
You look, Joel. What's your favorite?
At least most of the bits coming up I didn't stream last time, because this is where I did a bit with Jessie, wasn't it, before I ran out of time.
Jessie?
So it's the bit with Jessie, then the boat bit. Then it's Abby day one, depending on how far I get. I need to pause the thing so on my own playback screen, so that doesn't eat into my own internet. What type of body armour though? Like soft body armour, like police style Kevlar, or like stab proof vest, or like plate carrier? Oh, 3 cinematics in a bloody row. Like I said, the cinematics and that in this game are good. It's just that now I'm replaying it for like almost the 3rd time recently. Like, technically the 2nd time in very short succession, but the 3rd time... Oh, 4th cinematic. AR-500, that's steel plate, isn't it? I've got a few steel plate... well, a couple of steel plate armours. But, yeah, steel plate's pretty heavy, but they are pretty durable. The only thing you have to be careful of with steel plate is spalling. But again, good steel plates and good armours have the stuff that stops the spalls hitting you in the neck or whatever anyway.
Come on, help me up.
If you haven't done it already, you'll want to combine it with soft Kevlar, as well as the steel plate. Because the soft Kevlar protects, obviously, any of the bits the steel plate doesn't cover. That's why all the good vests are generally like soft armour with a steel plate over your vitals. I still need to do a video on it, but because the steel plates from my Polish body armour fit in the British Osprey armour, I've reconfigured that with soft Kevlar and panels, so they're not the official ones, but they fit well enough, and I actually quite like that as a more compact plate carrier.
I wasn't.
Yeah, like I said, I've got AR 500 plates.
I don't think so.
I prefer ceramic, but again, ceramic isn't as durable, and it's generally more expensive. But like I said, I've been lucky enough now and again that you can buy second-hand armor with good intact ceramic plates still in it. I mean, the really cool things are ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, but that's not really surplus yet. It's the sort of stuff that you can find in, you know, you can buy brand new for a lot of money. But, yeah, exactly. Spall is generally cheaper plates, isn't it? And it's also like the coating and that they put on the plate that stops spall or reduces spall. But yeah, like I was saying, ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene is really, really nice. It's just a case that, at the moment, because only a couple of armies have started maybe looking into using it, you're not really going to be able to get it surplus cheap. Oh yeah, I said about that a while ago, Rajiv, but I didn't try it, because I didn't know if it was just the assets changed by AI, or it's a reimagining of Quake by AI. Nobody in any articles bloody explained what exactly it was. They kept putting the word AI in there, but they didn't explain what the AI bit was doing with it.
Helped Abby when she got attacked. These people are trying to kill everyone around them. I mean, they shot you on sight, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. How long have you been in this thing?
Only a couple days.
I've got all
When
of
we first
Ellie's
got here,
upgrades
she
now, haven't I? So I
fucked
don't
up
need
a
any
bunch
of those.
wolves. You've been impressed.
I bet. You don't think so, do you?
Okay, so it's like real, what, like they asked it to do something Quake 2 related, and it's what it thinks Quake 2 is. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that at some point, but like I said, it's one of those things where I saw some articles about it, but they were really vague. They kept going like, AI is a buzzword, but they weren't explaining what the AI had done, you know. So I was like, yeah, you're going to explain any more about this, but it's obviously a journo that didn't know anything about AI or games trying to explain it. But like I said, tomorrow, if the rumours are true, tomorrow will be the day the Oblivion remake / remaster comes out. Armour isn't restricted at all in the UK.
Through here.
No restrictions whatsoever. Soft armour, Kevlar, any of the panels, plates.
I just gotta ask. Why didn't she tell me about it? The pregnancy.
The only restriction is if you're buying something that's like police or army issue where it shouldn't be surplus yet. As in, you know, like it's stolen from an army depot kind of thing. But in terms of actually, you know, buying any kind of personal protection stuff, it's not like with weapons over here. At least the armour is considered completely self-defense kind of stuff. Whereas, yeah, in some countries, though, they do have that really shitty thing where armour is considered a weapon. So yeah, they don't like the idea of civilians owning armour because it's harder for the police to shoot you. Yeah, it's not cold here at all, Rajiv. I've actually got my aircon on at the moment, but not blowing out cold air. Just doing the room temperature dehumidifying thing, because this room still is awful at getting like damp every couple of days. Now we've had the roof replaced in the conservatory, it's way better than it used to be, but this is still one of those rooms where damp seems to find its way in somehow.
I heard something. I'll check it out.
Ambush! Think he came from that way! Shit! Molotov! Come on, start a sweep. Someone must have slipped past us. Hackers! Drop them!
Kira! Move up!
Yeah, so Oblivion was the one Bethesda did before Skyrim, which is probably, in my opinion, a better game, even though, you know, they haven't re-released the game a dozen times like Skyrim. And again, Morrowind I prefer to Oblivion. But the thing with the Elder Scrolls games tend to be, as the games went on, they simplified them. So Oblivion has a lot more gameplay mechanics in than Skyrim does, and Morrowind has shitloads more than Oblivion does, for example. So if you go straight from Morrowind to Skyrim, it feels like such a babyish game in comparison. But yeah, Oblivion is quite good. It's like saying most of the things people don't like about Oblivion, if you go back to it like nowadays, is just how badly the graphics have aged, because it's one of those sort of quite early 3D rendered sort of games in a sense that Morrowind is 3D, but it's a kind of different type of 3D, whereas Oblivion, because it's kind of, you know, a 3D of its era, everything looks very plasticine-y, Play-Doh-y, like Fisher-Pricey looking 3D. I don't know how else to explain it.
There you go.
These wolves, man. So trigger happy.
You're at war with this fucked up cult.
Heard them talk about Seraphines or something. Seraphites.
Scars is all I've heard them called. You run into any?
No.
You're lucky.
Ah, so there'll be tariffs on it. I hope you... I'm sure you've done this anyway, but I assume you've bought from one of the proper sellers that's selling real Kevlar, not one of the, like, airsoft ones. But yeah, some of the Chinese body armour now is pretty damn good. But like I said, China is doing the thing, like the US and the UK, of moving more and more body armour to ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. Which, again, like I was saying, is really cool shit. It's just a case that, at the moment, like I said, that there's not enough on the surplus market that it's come down in price a lot. The only ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene armour I've got is my Virtus helmet. Oh, you still have to be careful, because like I said, if it's a seller with loads of feedback, then it should be fine. But like I said, there's sellers on eBay that will sell you airsoft stuff claiming it's real Kevlar. It's why I generally try and buy, you know, with certain things only from specific sellers I know are trustworthy. But yeah, like I said, the ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, why it's really interesting is the helmets, for example, can stop 7.62 rifle rounds. Like, your head probably wouldn't survive the impact because it has a lot of back-face deformation. But it's the fact that the lightweight plastic can actually physically stop the rounds, which is really impressive. Yeah, like I said, you'll just have to make sure it seems a genuine thing when you get it. But you can, as soon as you can get it, you can generally tell from weight if it's real Kevlar, not airsoft shit. But like I said, there are some proper Chinese body armour manufacturers that ship internationally. Oh, it's because it's like the buyers have to pay and the seller have to pay now, don't they, Rajiv? Yeah.
What's up with all these posters?
It's a bunch of comics.
Oh, okay, right.
Wait, what was happening here?
Gathering for people who are really into this stuff. Like you, basically.
We were born in the wrong time, man.
Oh, that's a reminder. Because payday is in literally a few days, I need to order some of those new Chinese gas masks I haven't seen before off of AliExpress to do videos on them. Yeah, I knew what you mean, Rajiv, because like I was saying, there's like a fee at both ends now, isn't there? There's a seller fee and, yeah, buyer protection, or whatever they call it, but it's still a thing the buyer has to pay. So like I said, it's one of those things where, like I said, it hurts both sides of the people doing the sale, in a sense.
What were you saying? Before, about Dean. You said she'll tell me when...
Once things are wrapped up here.
I guess at some point it'll get pretty hard to hide it. You know if she's gonna keep it?
I don't.
The helmets I really like, and again, more and more modern helmets are doing this now, other than the night vision mount, like the Rhino mount for night vision, are the ones that have like the mounts for like riot style visors. Because, you know, I like the idea that you can have a military helmet where you can also have a face guard on it, rather than the fact that, you know, like, normally you'd have to have a riot helmet with no ballistic protection. Or you'd have to have a military helmet with no face protection, whereas I like the idea of the helmets where you can have the,
Aquarium.
you know, face shield attached to them if you want to.
Just hoping Tommy has the same.
Because, you know, sometimes you might be in a situation, if you're armouring up, where you want your face protected from people, like, throwing shit at you, like bricks and stuff like that. But still want something if bullets start flying that's going to give you some protection. Is a K63 a Russian one? But yeah, I didn't mean like the big heavy metal visors like some of the Russian ones have. I was just meaning more like, I know those would work as well, but like for example the British Mark 6 helmet had a mount where you could put a I've done videos on it before, where you could mount a I don't think it was bulletproof, but it would stop some shrapnel. But it was designed more like if the soldiers had to do riot control scenarios, like they'd have their standard infantry helmet on with, you know, flip up, flip down, face shield on that.
Weird now.
I think the US Pascats had a similar thing at one point. Because I have seen, like, pictures of US soldiers in Pascat-style helmets with a similar thing. But yeah, it was like, you know, an additional mount put on the helmet so you could have a proper riot-style visor on it. Right, see ya, not a Russian spy. Oh, anything else to see around here before I go in there?
This way.
Oh. No, that isn't the way I need to go yet. Oh, did I miss this garage last time? I think I must have done. Yeah, I did. Right, that's good. Maybe there's a note in here I missed from last time. I'm hoping this game lets you do the completionist thing with notes over several gameplays, because if it doesn't, that's a bit annoying. Although I do know that there is on the mod site somebody has done a save game of, you know, like a complete 100% completionist thing on what do you call it, difficulty, the one I'm on now, Grounded. So if you want to, you know, just get an achievement to say I've done everything in the game, there is a thing you can just physically download, put in your save folder, and as soon as you load the save, it does it. So yeah, I'd missed this note last time. But let's deal with the infected first. Jesse, you moron, shoot them. Like I said, that's one of the things I don't like on Grounded, is how bad it's made my teammates' AI.
Now that's it.
This place looks like a dead end.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And that's a sealed door, right? Yep. So yeah, the point of coming in here, I guess, was for that note and a couple of supplies and a machete.
Go Team Jackson.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Couldn't have said it better.
I'm going to try and get that video done tomorrow, Rajiv, the one I was on about, with, like, what gear I would wear in The Last of Us sort of thing. With, like, the soft body armour and all that sort of stuff. Because again, it's probably a good time to make a video like that while the show and everything's popular at the moment. So it would get more views than if I just did that at some other random point.
Dead end.
Think you can get
Again,
up
it's
there?
going to be a bit of a rehash of my 28 Days Later one, but it will be a bit different. Because one of the things I'm going to include on that is having a lot of like little knives stashed in various places, so if somebody grappled you or an infected grappled you, you could just pull a little knife out. Whereas in this, a lot of characters don't seem to do that, like they just keep one knife on them and that's it.
Come, you know.
Where you'd think they'd have, like with Ellie, they'd have the one knife in like the rear pocket, maybe one holstered somewhere else.
I didn't think you'd be okay with all this.
I looked up to Joel. What happened to him was messed up. I would have come.
Joel liked you a lot too, you know. He used to think I had a crush on you.
Really?
Yeah, she's not into Asians.
I mean, you're handsome and whatever, but I'm not into your type.
What? Asians?
Yeah, that's obviously what I meant.
Yeah, like I said, it's not like a slow zombie loadout, but yeah, a lot of it was about the stuff, you know, to avoid getting bitten and scratched. It was about, you know, having, like said, like the long sleeve stuff on and like the soft body armor. Because again, like I was saying, it just amazes me in so many of these sort of post-apocalyptic things where you can get infected really easily. People don't have stuff to prevent being bitten and scratched, even though there's clothing you can get really easily that does that.
It's about these space marines who fight off alien ghosts.
Sounds like something you like. Wow,
This place is fucked.
blood's still wet. Let's get back to the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that building over there was where I ended the previous time I streamed this bit as Ellie, wasn't it? When I was going on about the revolver in the upstairs bit. You can, but you can't always reuse arrows. They will eventually break, and you'd be surprised at how easy it is to either lose an arrow or have it bend slightly and become useless from like an impact it doesn't like. So yeah, I'd say like with zombies, you could reuse the arrows if you hit. Again, like this is the thing though, if you went through, had to kill them by going through their skull, that might potentially bend a bit of arrows, because arrows only tend to not bend if they go into like, almost like a giant stomach type thing, if you like, where it doesn't hit a rib cage or whatever. But yeah, if you were to hit bone with arrows, they could quite easily break. Because, like when I did crossbow videos in the garden, if you get a good shot into an archery boss, you can reuse an arrow loads and loads of time, you know, when it's like a big foam block or whatever, or a similar sort of thing. But as soon as you start shooting into like thin bits of board and other materials like that, the chance that the arrow's going to bend slightly or the bolt's going to bend slightly... Oh, another one. You know, the chance like something like that's going to happen that's going to just fuck your arrow up gets quite common. What might work better with zombies is actually saying about hammer to the head, is having an arrow that doesn't have a sharp arrowhead but has like some sort of leaded sort of like if you see small game arrows they have in Red Dead Redemption 2, that sort of thing. where you might be able to shoot an arrow that has like a blunt force thing, where it would hit a skull, cause blunt force trauma and bounce off without damaging the shaft. I don't know if you could consistently get that to work without it breaking the arrows either, but that would probably be better with zombies than actually a sharp arrowhead. Because you'd be surprised how hard an arrow can hit. Even if you get, I've seen like riot style arrows people have made before, where they have like a big rubber sort of thing rather than the sharp head on them. You know, so it's so thick rubber it wouldn't ever penetrate somebody, but even then, if that hit you in the head, it could kill you through, you know, like, brain trauma. Like, even with those, if it's coming from a heavy enough bow, that, you know, if it hit you through thick clothing into the stomach, it might break a rib or, like, seriously bruise your ribs. But if that hit you in the head, a bit like police rubber bullets, it can still probably kill you. Do a zoom in on what? Sorry, at that guy. Or woman, whatever it was. Oops. I didn't realise sometimes people still fuck their faces up like that after death. And look, locked back pistol slide as usual. Where was the person shouting? Oh, there, behind the thing. There's nothing up there.
Shit!
Who's Jesse shooting at? That's one side. No. Stick my head up. Okay. Shoot the glass. Yeah, if she's only going to stick her head up for that short period of time, I'll incinerate her. That go far enough? Oops. There you go, I took both his legs off for him. Oh no, he's still got that one slightly on. There we go. Oh, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you can blow people's limbs off. Oh.
Me too.
What's SOF, Rajiv? Sorry. That's at least the good thing of infinite ammo. You can piss about doing stuff like this. Oh, Soldier of Fortune. Yeah, like Red Dead Redemption 2 has the same thing, where you can turn people into nuggets, where each of their limbs blow off with a shotgun or, like, you know, a high power enough gun. But yeah, I think it's just pistol caliber guns don't do it. So even when I've like strafed somebody with the MP5 after death, I don't think, you know, it does it. But it must be, yeah, you just have to, you're forced to do it with a shotgun or like rifle, or else it doesn't do that to their body parts. I'd assume that's it anyway. It was only recently I realised that I meant to flip these ones over that say Jules, and then it's like an ongoing story thing. But when the first time I played this, I was like, is this broken? Why is there loads of notes that just say Jules on one side? But no, I didn't realise it was like somebody leaving notes for a specific person. Yeah, I need to see if I can get that running on a modern Windows, because I've not played that in ages and ages. Wasn't there more than one Soldier of Fortune? But yeah, I'll have to see if there's like a version that runs on modern Windows, Soldier of Fortune. For you! Blowing their limbs off would be extremely painful. For you! Ah, so Soldier of Fortune 2's on good old games, and does it run alright then? Because even with good old games, I sometimes find there's games that, you know, just don't run well on a modern PC or run at all, which is really annoying. Because I bought some of the classic Rainbow Six games off of GOG, but they don't run. Like the first one and Rogue Spear and that. Ah, good. I'll have to try that out then. Because like I said, sometimes even with GOG, the games won't run on modern Windows. Cool, yeah, let me know. If they're not very expensive, I just buy a bundle if they're all in a bundle, but like I said, it just annoyed me recently when I bought the Rainbow Six games off GOG that a load of them still didn't bloody run, even when it was, you know, off of GOG, where normally GOG games are really good at running, but...
I think Abby picked the aquarium on purpose because it's so damn hard to get.
Maybe.
Jesus.
Jesus,
Why
well.
are we crossing this?
We could use that road. It's pretty fucking far.
Or we use that.
And do both run as far as you're aware? I know you said Soldier of Fortune 2 runs.
That's better.
Because if both run, I'll probably play them in order. I can't remember, I haven't played a complete Soldier of Fortune game, and I don't know if it was 1 or 2 I played when I played a bit of 1. But yeah, I remember it being notoriously gory back in the day.
Let's try through here.
So what's the plan? We take these guys out, steal their boat?
Definitely taking their boat. It's up to them if they want to get in our way.
Hopefully it's a small...
I'll just get both if they're cheap enough, Rajiv. Like I said, after this stream, I need to order those gas masks off AliExpress, seeing as it's only, like I said, a few days to my payday. Although, the company that bought the company I work for, I think they're changing our payday to the 31st of each month, or the last day of each month. But, I don't know what date that comes into, you know, like, actual, force with, if you like. Because the last couple of paydays, they've still been doing it on the old payday thing, even though they said they were going to change it. So, Dreamcast. I've still got a Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast when they first came out. I bought one from, Cash Converters or somewhere for like 15 quid with a load of games, a few years ago. But yeah, I like with Dreamcast because it doesn't have copyright protection. You can just burn games to a CDR and play them. You can do that with modded games as well, where people have made it run on Dreamcast. So like Paranoia, the mod for Half-Life 1, there's a Dreamcast version that people have made. I have a Dreamcast.
Come on.
Yeah, it didn't do very well when it first came out, but it is an excellent console. I think it came out at that wrong sort of time, didn't it, between PS1 and PS2?
Need a hand?
I repeat, sniper sighted at the marina, likely a trespasser. Any nearby units report. Over.
Shit. You four, take the land bridge to the marina. The rest of you, hold here. Wait for orders.
What the fuck? We're supposed to wait here while our guys are being sniped?
We have our orders. We'll have more than enough people taking out one sniper.
Yeah, like we were saying now, I think it was just a case of Dreamcast for like its commercial success didn't come out you know, a good time for coming out because it was just overshadowed by other consoles. Yeah, it's cool that there's still people doing stuff like that, porting games to a console that nobody uses anymore.
Taking a boat.
You heard them, right? They're talking about Tommy.
We don't know that.
Who else is it gonna be?
If it is him, he'll be gone by the time we get there. Abby is where he'll be headed, so if we just
What if
follow,
he's in trouble?
he can take care of himself.
Jesus Christ.
The best way to help Tommy is to go after Abby. You do this, I'm not saving your ass again.
I really hope you make it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know all the story behind it, but like I know it was, you know, one of those things where lots of probably factors did a thing. Oh, they've already seen me. Damn it. Probably gonna get myself massacred now. Yeah. Right, where it respawns me, hopefully that's a good place to start actually doing stuff.
Got the engine back up.
I suppose, where can I actually go, though, that isn't where there's immediately enemies? Can I get through? No, I'm not through there. I suppose in this shop, and then use this bit for cover. Yeah, a bit like how, again, like the PlayStation 3 having a Blu-ray player did such a good job for the medium. Yeah, annoyingly though, with the Xbox, didn't they do a weird thing with that where you couldn't play the DVDs unless you bought a like a sort of remote or some shit for it? Because I think I did have the remote, but I think there was some bollocks that you couldn't play the DVDs unless you plugged the remote in or some shit like that. I swear that was a thing, unless I'm just misremembering. But I know that when I did get a remote for it or whatever, I just bought a really cheap Mad Catz one that did the same thing. It was just a case that I think they didn't let you do the DVD control menus with a controller or something. Yeah, it might have even been a thing that you could use the controller and the remote if they were both plugged in, but you couldn't physically load a DVD up without having a remote in. Okay, I wonder what I'm misremembering then. Because I swear there was a console where it had a DVD function, but you couldn't use the DVD function without a remote, like, you know, that they sold separately. So it kind of soft locked your ability to use the DVD player, which was a really annoying feature. I wonder which console that was. maybe it depended on which variant of the Xbox you had, or which firmware or whatever. Because I had an Xbox Crystal, and I said I think it was the Xbox, it might have been a different console, but I said I have weird memories of needing to have a remote plugged in to watch my Stingray DVDs. Stingray. Dun, 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 dun. Need a medkit now.
Connor! Here!
The combat music's still playing, so there's probably some guys left. I specifically got an Xbox because the Oddworld games were, after Abe's Odyssey and Exodus on PS1 and PC, the others became Xbox exclusives, annoyingly. So that's why I got the Xbox. But it was a good console overall, you know, like once I had it, I got loads of other games for it, and liked it more than the PS2. But yeah, it was annoying at the time that, because Oddworld Inhabitants had a falling out with Sony, and there were some technical things that they just struggled to do on PS2, they became Xbox only.
Right. Boat.
The mall, I think it's just because it's in a mall, reminds me a bit from Left Behind. From Last of Us 1, but I think that's just it's in a mall. I'm on the wrong side of the bloody thing, aren't I? It's the boat on the other side. Yeah, Halo, all the Halo games I obviously got on the original Xbox that came out on the original Xbox because of the fact that, like Halo 1 and Halo 2, they were the original Xbox ones, weren't they? All of those oh, can I not go back this way? For fuck's sake, I have to go all the way around now because I went the wrong way. Or can I just climb up there? But yeah, the, those I got. Time Splitters 2 and 3 I had, and what was really good is because the Xbox had an internal hard drive, you could save all your map maker maps and all that to the internal drive, where if you had it on PlayStation you'd use up the memory cards really fast, because I think each map maker map would take up one slot on the memory card. Oh yeah, you've reminded me that I actually want to get that, and I keep forgetting that it exists. But I think I'm going to first wait and see if Oblivion Remastered does come out tomorrow or this week. Because if that comes out this week, that'll be something I buy and stream quite a bit of.
Nice. Steady.
The game I'm most looking forward to coming out this year is the Stronghold Crusader remake, remaster sort of thing, that comes out in about July, mostly because it will let you play the online mode with friends really easily, whereas Stronghold Crusader from 2003 or whenever it is, the original game, required you to you know, you have to use Game Ranger and things like that to play it, which is a real ball ache if you want to play it with friends nowadays. So the fact it will have like the actual proper online, you know, built into the game would be really good. Because when they remade the original Stronghold recently, they did that with the online. But the problem is, because the online in the original Stronghold doesn't have a skirmish mode against AI, it's only other players. a lot of my mates aren't really into it, whereas with Stronghold Crusader, because you can put different AIs on the different difficulty like Age of Empires, it's a lot more fun if you just want to play with your mates against a load of computer enemies or whatever. Or put, you know, like play against your friends but put computer allies or players that aren't as good on, sort of thing. And Stronghold Crusader's got shitloads of content for it, and they're adding more content for the remake as well. So again, the game I'm most excited for coming out this year is a remaster of a game from the early 2000s, so, you know, it says a lot about the current gaming industry, but whatever. Can I just open that right now with that, because when I did the thing before... Oh yeah, that does work. Okay, I'm not going to do it now, I'm going to get the stuff from upstairs, but yeah. Because there's quite a lot to find up here, that's why I was surprised it just lets you open that shutter straight away. Yeah, what I would really, really like a remaster of is Time Splitters 1, 2 and 3 as a remastered trilogy. Because again, it was made by the people that worked at Rare that did GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. The Time Splitters games are fucking great, but, you know, the only way to play them now is on the old consoles or to emulate the old consoles. And if they added an online mode, where you could fucking do all the shit out of them online, that would be amazing, but annoyingly, like I was saying, for a lot of people, they don't have the consoles now, or they don't want to emulate, and, you know, you don't get any online if you, even if you do emulate them. So yeah, the Time Splitters games are the map makers where you could share the maps online easily, you know, play online with your mates easily, with both the co-op single-player story and, like, you know, just online deathmatch type stuff. That'd be great, but... yeah, the Time Splitters games were made by what was called Free Radical Design. That had David Doak and a load of people from Rare in the studio. And, but then the last game they made was Haze, which wasn't published very well and was, you know, nowhere near as good as Time Splitters. And I think that basically killed off the studio, you know, it was one of those games that just didn't do very well. And Free Radical were also going to make Star Wars Battlefront 3. And nearly all the assets for the game were finished, and then EA cancelled it at the last minute. So that pissed off both Star Wars fans and, you know, also sealed the fate of Free Radical. Because, you know, like, they've been wasting loads of time making a game, and I suppose, although they were paid and compensated for it, it wasn't like, you know, if they got loads of sales worth of compensation, it was, you know, probably just covered the costs of what they'd done in those months. So yeah, fuck EA. Is I think a good sentiment from that. Let's have some water, I'm quite thirsty. Seattle Sleep, what's it, a bed shop? Oh yeah, it's a bed frame then. On a completely unrelated note, I had a very weird nightmare last night. Oh yeah, I forgot they did a Turok remastered as well. I had a nightmare where I was basically, if you've ever seen the show Fort Boyard, I was on one of those sort of forts, a bit like Fort Boyard, that are in the channel. So there's both French and English built ones. So just one of those style forts. And there was, it was like haunted, so I was trapped in the fort and there were fucking murderous ghosts in the fort. That was quite a scary nightmare, actually. It's one that I can remember enough of it now I've woken up, that it was obviously was pretty damn creepy. Because often I get nightmares that, you know, nightmares and dreams I can barely remember by the time I've woken up. Oh, there's a sniper overlook here. Let's see if I can get to it. I can't see her oxygen bar. I wonder if that's because the infinite health thing gives you infinite oxygen as well. Oh no, it's because I'm in this game mode, isn't it? Yeah, thoughting it's because I'm in grounded, where you don't get the HUD elements. So I guess to see if you're drowning, you have to look at how fuzzy the screen's going. Hopefully they can't see me at the moment. Thought I could swing on this bit, or do I have to go lower to swing? You have to go lower to swing. Right, hopefully they don't see me while I'm doing this. Right, this is the bit I wanted to get into, the sniper overlook. Right. Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing to do, I guess, writing down your dreams. And then you can have some Freudian psychologist tell you all about, you know, what it means to do with your willy. Slice the pie slowly. Annoyingly, it seems like you can't hit her head, even though her head's slightly visible behind the desk. It's like the box of the desk is bigger than the... Yeah, I sometimes get lucid dreams like that. And sometimes, once I'm aware I'm dreaming, it wakes me up. But now and again I don't, you know, it just seems to depend. That all of them? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sadly I can't really lucid dream very much. Now and again I can, but a lot of the time, as soon as I become aware I'm dreaming, it just wakes me up. Inception, yeah, years ago. I saw it in the cinema. The one with Dream Within a Dream Within a Dream with the spinning top and all that. I thought that was actually quite a good one of what's-his-name's films. I enjoyed it a lot more than his Batman films. Nolan. But yeah, I saw that with my dad in the cinema. And there was some fucking woman in front of us who had a ringing mobile that was just chatting loudly on her mobile. I remember there's a bit that's very much on Her Majesty's Secret Service in it. Blatantly kind of a rip-off homage to that. Where they're on some sort of ski thing being chased by gunmen with skis. I've got all my upgrades. Right, this is where the
Shit.
arcade bloater is, isn't it? I want to see how quickly a bloater dies to the MP5, actually. So not even using the Molotovs on it, just going brrr to my MP5. Is Dreamscape the one, Douglas Quaid? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. It's got Max von Sydow in it, and the bad guy from, one of the bad guys from Commando, Sully, is the bad guy in that. Yep, that's a good film, Reggie. Okay, yeah, 2 mags of the MP5 gets some bloater. Yeah, it is a good film. I'd recommend it.
Okay.
I won't give you any spoilers, but it's a good film, yeah. I think that was one of the ones where I watched it on Prime at some point when it was, you know, like just on there at one point, you know, where there wasn't much else to watch, and I thought I'd give it a chance and really enjoyed it. No, I don't think I've seen Inner Space. Is Douglas Quaid the one that looks a bit like Harrison Ford? I mean, I know who the actor is, and I remember Douglas Quaid was in it. But if I'm thinking of the right guy, does he look kind of like a knockoff Harrison Ford? Douglas Quaid, if I'm thinking of the right actor. Like I said, I know Dreamscape has Douglas Quaid in it, and I can remember the film, but... Yeah, so that is the one. Because now and again you get actors like that, where they just remind you of another actor. Oh, another Jules now. I think this is the last one. So this guy became a Seraphite, basically. He wrote the note. Right, I'll have to try and remember to watch that. Let me screenshot the chat at the moment, Rajiv. So hopefully I don't forget at some point, or I'll look back at the screenshots on my phone and see you recommended it. Because like I said, the problem that I always have is when I'm bloody streaming, I'll never remember the stuff we talk about after a stream. So whenever somebody recommends something really good to me, I always forget that it exists. Okay. Sounds weird and interesting. Weirdly, I think I saw a thing about that was in like some old kid's cartoon that was probably a parody of that. You know, where like some characters were shrunk down and had to escape the immune system and all that, killing people. I think it was like one of those weird educational cartoons that had a bit of peril sort of elements in it, but also was, you know, at the same time like, you know, a kid's educational thing. there was, speaking of stuff like that, Rajiv, there was something else I saw recently where, yeah, I thought, like, looking at the poster of it, like, that looks like they're trying to do a knockoff Indiana Jones. It wasn't Romancing the Stone either, so I can't remember, you know, I can't remember what it was, but it was just one of those posters where, like, they blatantly thought, oh, I don't think the film even is that Indiana Jones-like either. It was just one of the cases of, if we dress the person up like Indiana Jones, maybe some people will buy the film that otherwise wouldn't have bought the film or rent the film or whatever. Yeah, it didn't kill me. Yeah, I think normally you're meant to get onto the beach, aren't you, that other side? So yeah, her animation where she's like staggering onto the thing played too late because I was already on there, but from going from under the pier direction, not the other way. Because I think when I played the first time I must have just swum for one of those bits over there. Yeah, like I said, I'll watch it in the morning, but yeah. I thought episode 1 of series 2 was better than episode 1 of series 1 so far, but that might just be because I'm a bit more used to like members of the cast and stuff like that. Oh. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Although, with a lot of series like that, every episode is graphic violence and whatever. I'm pretty sure it's got the scene where Abby's behind a chain link fence and all the infected are after her. Because when I saw like a preview image for the episode, it had like that scene recreated really well. Where she's kind of like crawling, shimmying behind the fence and all the infected are leaning on the fence. You know, the bit just before Joel and Tommy find her. Yeah, they might do that in flashbacks. It's hard to know if they're going to do some of it as flashbacks, isn't it? Or, I imagine they will, because, yeah, they'll probably do it like the game, where, partway into the series, you'll probably get good, like, 15-20 minute segments with, Pedro. Right, we're going to have very much ATF Ellie now, because she's going to kill a dog. And she's going to kill a pregnant women, like the real alphabet agencies do. We're we're recreating Ruby Ridge here. We've killed somebody's dog, and now we're going to kill a pregnant woman. So yeah, she really is like the ATF/FBI. Ellie's next move will be to put women and children in a burning building while ramming a tank through the wall. Yeah. Look up Ruby Ridge and look up Waco, Rajiv, if you want to get really angry at the US federal government. There's a very good film on Waco called Waco, The Rules of Engagement, which is done like a very kind of honest documentary, not the way the US media spun it, that the women and children, you know, oh, we couldn't do anything to save them when we locked them in a burning building and killed them.
Where's Abby?
You're that girl from Jack's?
Tell me where she went.
How do we know you won't kill us?
Give her what she wants and we're dead.
You guys can survive this. I just need her.
Bullshit.
Yeah, Jonestown was how they tried to spin Waco when they killed everybody in Waco. They tried to spin it like it was Jonestown, you know, like where all the people commit ritual suicide, when it was actually, we fired loads of fucking tear gas into the building that set alight and blocked the exits, and then the people burnt alive in the building.
Where she is on this map. And then you.
Oh yeah, the Jonestown fucking tapes where you can hear him going on about, you know, the, what's it? Revolutionary suicide, or whatever he says.
Anyway.
Oh, I shouldn't have used that word on YouTube, it gets you in trouble. But yeah, Waco, the rules of engagement. The entire film might be on YouTube, Rajiv, but that is a very, very good film.
Fucking bullets!
Yeah, Waco is very interesting, but it's like where there was a kind of Christian cult, I don't know how much of a cult they really were, called the Branch Davidians, and they basically lived without bothering anyone, even though they had some weird practices that, you know, probably shouldn't have been allowed. And the ATF decided to do a very public raid of the compound for a PR move. And what ended up happening was, because they fucked up the thing publicly and some of their officers got killed in a really botched raid, it became an FBI standoff, and because the FBI got bored of waiting and negotiating, they ended up just going in force and basically killing all the women and children inside. Yeah, it looks like a Glock knife she stabbed that woman with. That was probably her own knife, wasn't it? Mel's own knife. It looks like a Glock knife. When I'm playing no return mode as Mel, I'll have to do photo mode and actually see if it is a Glock knife. It looks like a Glock knife or something very similar.
Whoa. Hey.
But yeah, Ruby Ridge was where there was a white supremacist kind of family that, yeah, they weren't particularly nice people in their views, but they didn't go around bothering black people or whatever. They wanted to live away from the government. And the ATF did an entrapment guy. I think the guy's name was Randy Weaver. They did an entrapment thing against him. Yeah, the animations are really good, aren't they? Yeah. And yeah, you should have taken your map with you, Ellie, then Jesse could have lived. But yeah, they did an entrapment thing against the guy to try and get him to like give info on other white supremacists or whatever, and he basically told them to fuck off after they'd entrapped him. And because then they were after him, they killed his dog. I can't remember if they killed one of his sons as well, but they killed his pregnant wife, like with snipers. Yeah, and it's again, Rajiv, that's alright, it's one of those things of where the federal government, you know, just really overstepped its mark, and rather dealing with something in an adult way, got loads of innocent people killed in the process. I was on about Waco a bit and Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge was the one with Randy Weaver, where they entrapped him by doing a thing, and like, you know, about a sawn-off gun or something, like a sawn-off shotgun. And after they'd entrapped him, because he refused to help them out, they ended up, like I said, just basically murdering a load of his family. And Waco is the one where they did a botched raid to try and show off for the cameras. They called it Operation Showtime as well, the ATF. When the botched raid failed and a load of their officers got killed from like breaching the building in a really stupid way, they called the FBI in and laid siege to the building and eventually burnt it down, killing everyone inside. Well, or nearly everyone inside.
Needed some air. What are you guys
But
doing?
both of them are basically like, you know, why lots of gun-toting Americans do not trust the government over there.
Thought is to head home via Ellensburg.
Right, I'll skip this anyway, because we're going to be in the Abbey bit in a minute. Day one as Abbey. It does mean I have to wander around the stadium for a bit, but at least I can chat with you guys, because these are always the bits I hate on the replay stuff like this. Oh, there we go.
Jesse, stand up!
Abby, that's your fault for not fucking taking the map back with you. The Waco TV series is pretty good. A lot of people said it didn't paint the government negatively enough, but it does show Ruby Ridge as the very first bit in it, because Ruby Ridge kind of led to Waco. So it shows like how they fucked up Ruby Ridge. And then, yeah, the thing that the TV series does well, it's got Michael Shannon in it, who's very good as the FBI negotiator. Because the real thing that's accurate in the TV series and the real thing of Waco is when the FBI negotiator was allowed to talk with the people and, like, negotiate people coming out, people came out alive. As soon as they decided they had enough of trying to negotiate with people and they were going to use hardball tactics on them, that's why everyone got killed. So again, it was when they talked to people like actual human beings, with Waco, you know, people didn't die. As soon as they basically overruled the FBI negotiator, you know, and said like, oh, we're not letting them, you know, you're wasting time trying to, you know, talk to these crazies. But yeah, I read a big book on Waco as well. I can't remember what the book was called now. Oh, it was called This Is Not an Assault, because they actually said on loudspeakers, this is not an assault, as they assaulted the building. But yeah, the Waco TV series is good. Like I said, the Branch Davidians were weirdos. But, you know, the children inside were completely innocent, regardless of whatever cult their parents were in. But, you know, like I said, the government decided, oh, negotiating is taking too long to get these children out, alright, let's fucking assault the building with tanks and tear gas and, you know, armed soldiers, basically. So yeah, as I said, and it's not going to get any better under Trump, I can tell you that. Shit like, it's going to happen way more often, stuff like Ruby Ridge and Waco. The government just deciding they're fed up with people doing something, so use force to sort them out.
Maybe I can get onto the roof. Okay. Smooth, Abby.
Oh, speaking of Die Hard and stuff like that, you know, the raiding the Federal Reserve in Die Hard 3. You know, and $140 billion, 10 times what's in Kentucky. With Jeremy Irons. Germany now is demanding to see their $100-odd billion they've got stored in the Federal Reserve in gold, in case that their gold's been stolen by the American government. Yeah, Fort Knox is for tourists.
How'd you get him to talk?
A guy I work with absolutely loves quoting that scene, Rajiv. I think he's dead, my dear. I can't skip this particular cutscene.
1978. Don't have that one in my collection.
You can keep it. If you promise not to pull anything like this again.
You got yourself a deal.
Why don't I believe you?
No reason I could think of.
Speaking of Fort Knox is for tourists, Rajiv, I need to send you a picture I did using that AI the other day. I did it for the guy I work with, but you'll find it funny.
Nothing. Just noticed you two have been hanging out a lot. More so than usual.
Right, let me just find it, because I made it yesterday. There we go.
Abs.
Right, there we go. I sent it you on Facebook, Rajiv.
I look on it.
Oh, God.
Come on.
I specifically made that for the guy at work.
I'm your dad. I see things. Like the way you both try really, really hard not to look at each other when you're around me. You get all serious. It's very cute.
I can't.
And
Yeah, it couldn't do it very well without the picture, so what I had to end up doing was getting the picture of him in the suit and sunglasses from the film and then giving it the prompt with that as a reference image. Otherwise, it would either have Bruce Willis on it, doing a thumbs up, or it would have a very old-looking Jeremy Irons that didn't look anything like Simon Gruber.
Abs, look. Fresh tracks.
Wait. This is just your sneaky way of giving me a tracking lesson, isn't it?
I would never. Is it working?
Well, I mean, found
Yeah,
it.
I've been on an hour and a half streaming so far.
You cheated.
I'll definitely go a bit longer, although my throat's getting quite dry now.
You actually
I want to at least do the first Abbey bit with the Seraphites, you know, where you're shooting at them with your rifle and that. So I'm looking forward to actually having a gun with unlimited ammo so I can use a rifle properly, because you never normally get to use a rifle very much. What's gratefully accepted for you.
See anything else?
Not yet.
Yeah, what I bought, Rajiv, that's quite good. Is one of those Brita water bottles. So not like we've had a Brita jug for ages that we fill the kettle with, so it doesn't lime scale up as much. But like you can actually get Brita water bottles now, where they might have been a thing for ages, where you can put the it's got like a little mini Brita filter in the roof of the bottle, so when you drink the water through it, the water passes through the filter, so you know heavy metals and shit like that out the tap doesn't
Dad?
It's her.
get
Let's
into
go.
your mouth, kind of thing.
This doesn't sound good.
No, she's in pain.
Although I'm tempted to potentially buy the bigger model of it, because I bought the smaller one. But I'm tempted to kind of buy the one that's like a bigger,
What if they're infected around?
This area
you know, like 1 point something litre bottle, as opposed to this one, which is just about 700 millilitres or something.
Oh shit. Abs.
This is still good, but like the only thing I don't like with this one is it's kind of one where you have to suck it through like a sports bottle cap, which I think was part of the idea of this particular bottle. But
We've got to cover loose.
when it comes to like drinking bottles, I definitely prefer the ones you can just drink from like a little nozzle, not like a straw or one of those sort of things.